Hello. I know that you guys are probably surprised that I'm actually showing my face, and I'm just gonna be honest with you. I probably won't show my face in gaming videos because I prefer to play in a very dark room. I'm probably not showered to be completely honest with you. I'm gross and goblin-y, and sometimes I'm coming straight home from work or whatever I did that day. So this isn't going to be necessarily a gaming video thing, but I do want to start doing these every once in a while whenever I have something to actually talk about. Today I do have something interesting I want to talk about. So Netflix just announced that they're making a live action Death Note. Anybody who has already been following Netflix or Death Note already knows how much of an actually terrible idea this is. The last Death Note that came out, the live action one, was horrendous. And the Death Note anime is nuts. And I just want to talk about how terrible of a decision this is because it is genuinely astonishing to me that Netflix is still trying to adapt anime into live action. I just don't. I'm a firm belief that anime just doesn't translate to live action. That's just how it is. Like, it's just too much going on. It's too silly a lot of the time. There's a lot of moments that just don't translate to real life. It's anime is like accentuated, extremely accentuated, just to make like everything seem a little more fun and or a little more like intense or a little more action driven. And this news of Netflix doing another Death Note adaptation, I've seen people on Twitter who are genuinely happy. And I know it's being made by the people who made Stranger Things, so everybody's like, woo, this might be good. For all I know, maybe it will be good. I don't know. But I just want to tell everybody to get their expectations down. Does anybody remember the live action Cowboy Bebop that literally, I think it came out this year. Let me look it up. And it got canceled like the same like week it got made because it was so bad. It was literally November of last year. Not even a full year ago. And everybody's excited about this. This is like widely regarded as one of the worst anime adaptations ever. But there's been so many, and I'm just here today to just rant about adaptations. So there is the Cowboy Bebop one that I'm sure at least most of you have heard of. There is a Dragon Ball movie that I'm sure everybody has heard of, if you care about anime at all. The Dragon Ball movie was horrible. One of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. It was so bad. The Avatar movie, which I know it's not anime, but it is a cartoon, so it's kind of close, was horrible. I know it wasn't a Netflix adaptation, but not all of these are. I'm just saying for adaptations in general now. And the Avatar movie is horrendous. Like, it is by far. I watched it as a child because I loved Avatar. I watched it as a child with my mom, and even I didn't like it back then. I was like 5. Like I didn't have consciousness, and I knew this was bad. So that's the main ones that I wanted to talk about when it comes to just actually being bad movies. But then there's two specific things that you may or may not be able to tell that I like. You can't see it in the background, but I do right above this. Maybe I can maybe splice a picture in, but I have a drawing of Ichigo Kurosaki from Bleach on my wall that I drew. Almost all of this that's on this wall, I did not draw. My friends drew it. I'm not exactly an artist. But when it comes to copying something, I'm pretty good at that. I can copy stuff. So I have, there's probably 4 characters I have on my wall, 5 maybe. I have Eren Yeager. I have Sasuke Uchiha, who you can see the time. Here, wait, maybe I can just turn the camera actually. Hold on. There you go. Okay. So, as you can see, there's Sasuke on the left, on the far left there. Ichigo's in the middle, and Ryuk is in the on top of the door. But oh, it's a little. Oops. But anyway, I love Bleach. Bleach is probably my favorite anime I've ever watched, to be honest with you. I wouldn't say it's the best because it definitely has some flaws. Like the Bount arc was pretty ass, and a lot of the filler is pretty ass. But Bleach has a very special place in my heart. And I think it was a few months ago at this point, honestly, where I found out. So they made a Bleach movie. I honestly compared to the other things we've seen on this list so far, it's not that bad, to be honest with you. It's definitely ass, and it's nowhere near as good as the actual series, but it's not terrible, to be honest with you. And that one is just interesting because I would never have thought that Bleach would get one of those. And the final one is Attack on Titan. I have not seen almost anybody talking about this movie, but I can assure you that you don't want to talk about it. It is some of the most batshit insane movie I've ever seen in my life. They changed literally pretty much everything. I don't know who ever thought it was a good idea, to be completely honest with you. It doesn't look good. In fact, I would say it looks bad. It takes place in, like, cities, and I'm not talking, like, Attack on Titan City, where it's, like, a wall area. It's, like, really, you can tell it's, like, a town, more of a town type of thing. It's in, like, modern cities with, like, skyscrapers. And everything looks ass. The entire movie is bad. Things just change. The best part of it is the screenshot of Hanji holding a rocket launcher, because that is just that sounds about right compared to everything else. They got Hanji right, I can tell you that much. She's actually just nuts. But other than that, the rest of it was ass. And I just wanted to talk about how horrendous these adaptations are. Mostly movies, but I know the Netflix Cowboy Bebop was a series, and I'm sure this new one will be. But I am pretty much the moral of this is I am so tired of people trying to make cartoons or anime into live action. It makes it worse. It really does. I know there's good live action stuff. Like, I know there's, like, Breaking Bad, and there's some banger live action. But taking something that was, like, accentuated, colorful, bright, sometimes not even bright and colorful, just vibrant in its own way, super dark, super, like, gory, super artistic, something like that, and brutalizing it by turning it into real life. I don't want to see any more of these, to be honest with you. I don't even care if they're good. Okay. If it's, like, really good, of course I'd want to see it. But I just don't think it's worth it at all. I don't think it's worth any studio. I don't think I've seen it done once correctly. If someone has an example, let me know of a anime/cartoon that was done well in live action. That isn't like Batman or something, because that isn't really like, it's not like he came from an anime. He came from comics and has been put into many different things. He's in cartoons, movies, all that type of thing. But if you can find one of a anime or a cartoon that was made in the live action that was actually good, maybe. And I'm especially talking about remakes, really, to be honest. Like, I know there's things like Teen Titans, like the I don't even know if it's called, it's just called Titans, which is ass, and it's based on the Teen Titans, but I wouldn't count that because it's like the Teen Titans show is also based off of the Teen Titans, like, comics, and I'm pretty sure that the Titans that came out recently was not based on Titans or the Teen Titans show, or else it probably would have been good. So that's the first stage of this video. Second stage is it's a similar thing, but it is different. So another thing I did recently, I read Berserk. I used to read a lot as a kid. I stopped because it was just boring. I felt like I could watch something like anime, cartoon, live action, anything else, and it would be a better way to spend my time. Recently, I'd seen a lot of videos around just saying that Berserk was an absolute masterpiece. And whenever I hear something's a masterpiece, I gotta check out at least an episode or two to see if it is, or read a little bit of it. And Berserk was absolutely phenomenal. One of the best things I've ever read. One of the best things I've ever seen in my life. It was a great story. So after reading that, I decided I would read a little bit more manga. And the next one I chose was Tokyo Ghoul. Interesting story about Tokyo Ghoul. I had just recently watched it. Pretty, like, like a few months, I started rewatching Bleach, and I'm about halfway through that, and it was right after I started that, right after I watched or finished Tokyo Ghoul. I watched all of Tokyo Ghoul because the first season got me hooked, and it was pretty fun. Honestly, it was a pretty good. I almost said movie, pretty good series. Up until the second, third, and I don't even know if it's considered a fourth season, but fourth season. But the manga is the best like art I have ever seen in my life. I know everyone says Berserk has the best art, and it really does have good art. But for me, personally, I love Tokyo Ghoul's art. It looks so like good. Everything looks amazing. But I just wanted to talk about these two specifically because another adaptation thing that I always see now is manga that is just brutalized when they try and make it an anime. And those are honestly, I think these are two best examples. I know I've seen quite a few people talking about what is the worst anime adaptation, and I've seen, I think it's Promised Neverland is what it's called, or something of that sort, where it's just absolutely horrendous. And I know there's another anime that Moist Critical talks about constantly that ends on a slideshow, which, yeah, that sounds ass. But Tokyo Ghoul and Berserk have been done so dirty. I know and Berserk's the less bad one. Berserk, it had a actually pretty good adaptation that came out. Let me look it up. Berserk anime, 1997 is when that came out, and that one honestly wasn't even that bad. It was pretty good. It's not as good as the manga, but it was solid. And then it got another adaptation, and I'm just gonna show a few pictures because it looks ass. It looks actually horrible. I cannot believe that they did this. So they decided for some reason, I don't know who, was like, yeah, let's just use all CGI. I know it's cheaper, but this is like one of the most popular manga ever. Not popular, but, well, I don't know, it might be. It is one of the widely regarded as the best manga ever. And the show that came out in 2016 looks so bad. It looks horrendous, I would say. Honestly, it's one of the worst things I've ever seen. It looks horrible. I would have rather had them do it live action. And you already heard how much I hate that. So all of that was out of the way. So Berserk had a horrible one, but it also had a pretty decent like first version of that series. And also, to be completely fair, to accentuate my next point, at least Berserk's anime from 2016 didn't completely change the story from what I can tell. But Tokyo Ghoul's adaptation completely changes everything. After the first season, everything is different, and it's for the worse by far. They leave things out. It's confusing. You don't understand what happened, and it's not like you're supposed to interpret it with these like signs they left up to you. No, they don't tell you shit. You don't get told a single thing, and you're just expected to either A, figure it out, or just suck it up. And they brutalize parts of it. They absolutely brutalize parts of it. It is like astonishing how much they skipped over. There's entire fights that are just go completely different. There's entire moments that just don't happen. There's entire story beats that are just completely cut. Like, they're just gone. I don't know what the fuck they did with them, but they're gone. I don't understand it at all. And I know there's definitely other series that completely change the story. Like Akame ga Kill. One of my, I wouldn't say favorites, but it's a really good show. Completely changed the story from the manga. But at least the story was still conclusive in that show. And I would say it was pretty good, to be honest. This, from after season 1, after the Jason fight, from then on out, it's completely different, and for the worse different. It's not even like different and it's alright. It's completely different, and it's bad different. It's worse. Just objectively, everything about it is worse. And I don't understand. They do certain panels horrendously. I'm sure everybody has seen by now. Because this isn't, both the Berserk and the Tokyo Ghoul thing are old. But I have to talk about it because it bugs me still to this day. But I'm sure you've seen the iconic I am a ghoul panel, or at least seen it in the anime. It's nothing comparatively. They are the manga panel is just supremely better. And I understand that you can't exactly show everything, especially with Berserk. Berserk's got some really dark, fucked up shit that I don't even think should be shown on the TV. Certain things they need to show, but there's some things that just shouldn't have been there in the story at all in the first place that can be removed, and it's fine, and the story will be fine. Tokyo Ghoul does not have moments of that darkness. They have some dark moments for sure, and they have some brutal stuff. And there's some bad stuff, but it is nowhere near as bad as Berserk. And they censor entire parts. I know it would be probably pretty like gross to see the manga panel animated correctly, but that is the point. Ghouls aren't supposed to be like or not even ghouls. His torture was not supposed to be like dumbed down. It was supposed to be hardcore. It fucked him up. And in the anime, it fucks him up, and it's definitely pretty brutal, especially like the centipedes and the ears part is pretty bad. But in the manga, it's horrible. It's beyond horrible. And I think that was important to the story, and it's completely cut. I don't want to talk about it too much in case somebody who watches this video does decide to read Tokyo Ghoul at any point. It is my favorite manga I've ever read. Berserk's really, really good. I'm very excited that it's coming out again and re-releasing. But Tokyo Ghoul is just a amazing package all the way start to finish. I think Berserk will have competition or will be competing with it for sure once it's done. But for now, it's Tokyo Ghoul is like my favorite, and the anime adaptation, man, is horrible. And I know not everything can be perfect, but it's disappointing when all these cool things that I like are getting ruined. So that's about it. But I just wanted to talk about especially the Netflix announcement for Deathnote. I will show one picture right now of the last adaptation. It was not great. If you like these things, like if you like the Berserk anime, the 2016 one, that one you can. I don't know how you would. I don't know how. I don't know how you find anything good in that. But sorry. If you like, well, no, honestly, it's not sorry. Fuck you. How do you do that? Give me whatever you're smoking, and that'll be great. But if you do like the Tokyo Ghoul adaptation, because I know quite a bit of people do actually enjoy it, I'm sorry. Well, I'm not really sorry. It's just I understand, but I don't agree, and I need to get it off my chest because this whole thing brought it to my mind, and I'd been wanting to talk about it for a while. See you. Wait. Actually, cancel all that before that. Me and editing. One more thing. So, I think I'm gonna move away from doing mostly like playthrough type of things. I think I'm gonna do them when new games come out. But I think going back and playing old games is gonna be off the table unless it's like I have one thing that I think I am gonna record. Unless it's like A, I'm playing with my friend or cousin or whoever. B, there's a new like game coming out in that series. Or C, I just decide to play it and I want to upload it. But I do have. I'll tease you right now with it. There's a certain game that is a zombie game. In fact, I would say it's one of the only good zombie games that has a sequel and is getting remade pretty soon, remade completely, and I'm excited as hell because I love the first game. The second game was kind of but the first game was really, really good. And I think I'm gonna replay them both before the remake comes out, and I'll play the remake when it comes out as well. But I just wanted to say that I'm gonna be moving away from that type of content until I find another game that interests me because I tried playing Until Dawn, recording it, but it just wasn't working for me. I did end up beating it still. I'm still going to play the games, but I just don't have much to talk about in those types of games. It's kind of just me making fun of the main characters or whatever. I just don't think that's very interesting or worthwhile like content, so I'm not going to post much of that. But I am working on an extremely long video. I don't know if it will intrigue anybody, but I'll tease that as well. It happens to be about my favorite FPS game I've ever played, which a lot of people I'm sure are going to disagree with that completely. But I grew up with it, much as a lot of the people who are on this platform did, I'm sure, and a lot of other people, and the people that are growing up before me, it's pretty much their Halo or whatever game, or Mass Effect or that type of game. It's what that was for them, except mine is Overwatch, which I know a lot of people are probably pissed just hearing me say that, but it's true. I grew up with that game. It was the thing that put me in the FPS games, and I can't wait to talk about it. I have been playing another thing. I'm just gonna get it all out here in this video really fast. I'm thinking about doing a lot more of these types of videos where I just kind of talk about shit for like 30 minutes or whatever, and I can upload them if I want or if I don't want to, because I really do want to make videos daily, but I cannot make gaming videos daily, and I especially cannot make playthroughs daily because I just don't have the time, to be honest with you. And a lot of the games just aren't there's I don't I'm not a rich person, as you can probably tell from my room. I don't have a bunch of extra money, so I'm not going to be buying a bunch of new games and just playing those. I might play a few of them, like two that I'm kind of interested in are the Callisto Protocol, I think is its name, and Stray. Stray, I'm gonna wait until it comes out because it's just a cat game. It looks fun though. It looks like it might be fun. But I just wanted to update everybody on what I'm doing right there. So hopefully this longer video is going to be probably a longer one compared to the other things I'm going to upload. But hopefully it was interesting to you. Just to sum it up really quick one more time before I go. So first things, I'm going to be making a lot more of these videos. I can't guarantee they're going to be daily because I'm just not here every day, but I'm going to try. Second thing, I am still working on playthroughs. I have one that I'm definitely going to upload pretty soon. Well, not upload pretty soon, but start working on pretty soon. I have an extremely big video for me that I'm working on. It's going to be my first video that I put in more than like a week's worth of time into. And I'm really hoping that you guys enjoy that. It is about Overwatch, as I said. And I'll tell you right now, it's not going to be the same thing that you're used to from a lot of other people just going over the history of Overwatch. It's going to be my version of the history of Overwatch, so what I experienced doing it, not the hardcore facts, not everything that was exactly how it was. I'm going to go over, and not the history of the game. I'm going to go over what I experienced playing it and what things I disliked, what things I noticed the community disliked, what things I saw that a lot of other people will talk about, I'm sure, but they don't talk about it in the same way that I wish they would a lot of the time. And that's all I've got for today, so see ya later.